issue of missing people with TB, I can see how a person would maybe suspect that they're sick, and then maybe they would go to a clinic and find a long queue and then be discouraged to go through, to the clinic. Is there any type of technology that a person can use to test if they have TB at home in order to make things easier?
They get discouraged because they see these long queues. By the way, that's a very big issue on its own. And I think I'll be amongst the first to acknowledge that government has not done particularly well in that regard. And hopefully future policies expand access and make it possible for people to receive health services in the most comfortable way possible without having to stand in long queues. So currently there isn't really a way of testing people at home, for example, because the tests that are undertaken in laboratories. And the kind of technology that we have it's not a mobile technology. It's not something that you can just carry with you, although we have made some piloting, if you like, by having a few gene expert testing machines mounted in vans, and thereby being able to go into communities, but then people still have to congregate at a particular spot, and then you'll be able to test it. But now moving from one house to the other, that has not happened as yet. But we are very optimistic because now we are in the era of what is called the point of care tests. And these gene experts that I was talking about, the producers or the manufacturers of the technology, they are known as CEFIT, are now developing a new version of gene expert, which is called the Omni. And the Omni, it's a portable gene expert test. It's almost like a flask. That's the image that comes to mind. Which means, although I think they intended using it more in health facilities, so that especially in inpatient settings, and maybe there are some difficulties with those patients, or even outpatients, that you could rapidly be able to test people. What we are exploring, and we have already communicated formally through the National Health Laboratory Services, is that we must pilot the Omni. By the way, it still has to be made available. It's developed, but it's being refined, and they're telling us it will be available during around July, September of next year. So we are asking them to pilot with us using the Omni in households, especially with this contact tracing that I was talking about, which means, if there is a known infected person with TB, then we go to their house or even workplace, or even to classrooms, and then maybe test everybody instead of asking them the 4 questions that I made reference to. So it's not happening right now, but we think it's something that is likely to happen in the future.
What is the department doing with regards to latent tuberculosis, and what are the kinds of figures South Africa currently is?
The second question regarding latent TB, that's correct. You ordinarily have latent TB. Latent TB is you have TB in your body, predominantly in your lungs, but it's not active, so you are not sick of it. You have the bacteria, and it gets ignited by certain developments, or maybe you are HIV positive, then it sort of kickstarts the disease, so to speak. There isn't a lot of information about latent TB. All what we hear of estimates like possibly 70-80% of South Africans have latent TB infection. Remember, it doesn't make you sick. It just says you've got the bacteria. But that's an unconfirmed statistic. So if that is the case, then it just makes it very difficult. If you remember in the past, we used to have those MAN2 tests. You used to have that thing done on your arm, and then they would wait and see if you would have some kind of. I think you know what I'm talking about, and then that would be an indication that you've got maybe TB, and then you might be given, you've got latent TB infection. You won't be given the full TB medication, but you'll be given prophylactic kind of medication. But now, if 70% to 80% of the population has got latent TB, it just makes it difficult to use that kind of approach. But it's something that we're looking at, and that's another area where maybe, technology can assist. What is the best way to detect real and latent TB infection?
To ask Mr. David, because he talked something about hotspots for TB. What I want to ask him is, he talked about informal settlement. So what I want to ask him is, in case of informal settlements, because he says it's a hotspot, and most of the time, like informal settlements, like we find out that there are too many people living there, but then it's like there's only one clinic. So what is the Department of Health doing to change that?
And regarding the informal settlements, in a way I've spoken to this, it's a major problem, and the response also has to do with housing. And because these settlements, they emerge without any real planning, and you can say maybe it's an excuse by government. So where you have not planned to be providing certain services in that area, but people go and reside there. So, and government wills, they're very slow, they turn very slowly, and it just makes it very difficult. But I think it's something that is now part of our topography, if you like. And I think maybe there should be a better response. And the contemplated national health insurance, maybe it will assist, because it's supposed to help expand access so that all South Africans can always receive access, even if it means we have to tap into services that are in the private sector. Thank you.
And what innovations are you going to put into place to attend to the problem of TB amongst males? Maybe inmates, you have a lot of them, but they are, and we still have a lot of people that we're actually missing, which most likely fall into the same category.
Certainly for me, as I've said, because we've just had, if you talk campaigns that sort of targeted those key populations that I've mentioned. Now there is a deliberate effort to really deal with men, and it's going to be about communication and messaging that is sort of appropriate for men, but also knowing where to find men and communicate those messages there. I don't know whether it means you're going to have to spend a lot of time in beer halls, because we don't know in churches, but it's something that we are desperately working on, that we should be able to communicate with men. I received a huge grant from the Global Fund. There used to be very weak TB services and HIV services in correctional services, and we are addressing that. We've got significant resources. I think we've been able to put in almost 200 million rands just to deal with inmates. Although they are in congregate settings, but they are very tough not to deal with. The response is usually negative. The prison environment doesn't help, because prison warders or the prison system is only interested in one thing, and that's safety, security, locking these guys up. Whether they are 50 of them locked up in a small room with poor ventilation, they wouldn't look at those. They just want to make sure that they don't go anywhere, and we're trying to change that kind of thinking by working with the Department of Correctional Services. Thank you.
Has the NRF considered alternative funding or funding grants for PhD students? Because it is such an advanced degree, just to build your funding base or to build your profile, but in terms of the research space.
Development plan targets for 2030 all pushed into a corner in trying to deliver on our high KPI. And Dr. De Monse here is sharing our session today has been part of the team within the NRF where a needs analysis has been undertaken to firstly assess what is the full cost of study, especially at the doctoral level. What are the support interventions that are required for the successful completion of a postgraduate study? What is the average duration of study, and other factors that actually contribute to the successful completion of the study? And within the South African socioeconomic climate, we have to look at those factors. What does it mean to study versus contributing to household income, especially if you're in rural-based areas? So we're currently undertaking such a study, and the outcomes of which will probably be released soon, but I'm sure Bev has more inputs to that study.
Back to the students. One of the things that we are trying to do through the SHIP is actually to bring in young students and to have your young PhD students and your postdocs to bring them in as PIs into these specific projects that we are funding. So we will ask established researchers then to bring in a co-PI of a young person then. So this is one of the areas we need to look at. We're also busy with, we've got an agreement with Novartis. We're looking at the next generation scientists. And one of the things that last weekend happened is actually a grant writing workshop on how do you actually write grants that will be acceptable for big pharma companies, but also your NIH and so on. So we're busy looking at how to train them, the younger students, in the mechanisms on how to write grants. He knows he can do it in his sleep, but you can't do it, and we need to train him to do that. So.
My first question is going to Professor Penta. Just to find out about the issue of collaboration. I see you're working with the University of Liverpool, but when I look at the recent presentation, it showed that South Africa is capable to do taking this technology. I mean, we saw good prototypes that are ready for commercialization. So my question is to ask, why did you choose Liverpool instead of local? That was my first question. The second question, I'm going to go to NRF. NRF, they were showing very good distribution when it comes to the issue of the interns and job opportunity. And they were showing like very high issue of employment, like all those interns, they complete their internship and they get a job. But towards the end, it was showing that recently now we are seeing declining when it comes to employment, and we see a lot of graduates, all of interns without jobs. So I just want to try to find out what do you think is the cause of that problems, and also to see if there any strategy when it comes to the issue of creating opportunity for the graduates in nanotechnology in South Africa. The last question is going to go to DST, so to find out what you're talking about very good. You're talking about local pharmaceutical manufacturing. For me, I'm very excited about that because we see local things. Definitely, when it comes to the issue of having a low cost in terms of drugs that are in the market. So my question is like, what are the strategies? What are you going to do? How are you going to achieve this local manufacturing? Because majority of these pharmaceutical companies are active by international. So that's the question. The last one also for this again. Also, just to share a bit about your strategy when it comes to clinical research, because this is another place which is a big challenge, because we get a lot of people who prototype towards the end, they get frustrated because this is a clinical trial and stuff. So I just want to know if you can share a little bit what are your strategies when it comes to that area.
So Stephen's question was why, when we get local people, do we go to Liverpool? And I think it's a reasonable question. I think it's interesting is the people in the UK didn't even know about the people in Liverpool, and I think it's just ignorance. And as I said at the start of my talk, it's just no willful exclusion. I just never heard of this, didn't know you could apply this technology to medicine, to be quite honest. So I think where it has been useful is we've been able to help them focus on priority molecules. They're wasting their time with a whole lot of very old drugs that nobody was ever going to use. Also tell them what the future was bringing and what they maybe should start evaluating. To give you an example, a lot of the PK work, the sort of like levels of drugs in the bloodstream and how that interacts with volumes and things, that actually is being done by UCT because they have the expertise, and it's a very, very technical field as well. I think what I say on behalf of the consortium is that we're very open to talking to anyone who's interested, and collaborating however we could. But I think the intent is to fix as much of the South African healthcare system as we can to get as many products out there. As you can see, it's not restricted to HIV. There are a whole lot of other molecules that we could be testing.
Back to local manufacturing as such. For the development of drugs in South Africa, we have, a month ago, we actually launched a pilot plant for the manufacturing of your active pharmaceutical ingredients for TB drugs. The pilot plant is in Silverton, so this is an achievement for South Africa where we can actually now go through the process where we can start manufacturing the active components of the pharmaceuticals in South Africa. But in order to make sure that there's actually a pipeline that's flowing through from the researchers from Kelly Shabali at H3 Africa at UCT, we are in the process of putting together what we call API SA. It is actually bringing all the universities, science councils, researchers, companies, whoever, bringing them together in a cluster where we will then say, okay, fine, these are the priority drugs. This is the chemical pathways that needs to be developed that we can then actually utilize and put into your pharmaceutical manufacturing in your API plants. And then the APIs, once they're there, then that will be made available to your Edbook aspirants and whoever are the local formulators in South Africa. So yes, we do have a plan for that whole component as such. Similarly for your vaccines and biologics, vaccines, DST is a shareholder in the BioVac Institute, where we then taking them through the process of actually not only the importers of vaccines as such, but actually going back through the process of first to do the formulation, and also then we're doing a number of projects with them where they need to develop the API or the rootstock that is needed for vaccines. Similarly, we're also working on biologics, on what is needed then to do the local manufacturing of biologics and then what goes with it as such. On the medical device and diagnostics, we've got a fairly strong industry already that's going, that we just bring these projects then to them and then look at local manufacturing of all the different diagnostics that's being developed in South Africa as such. One of the major stumbling blocks up to this point has been the Medicine Control Council, but I'm very confident on the way that they are going and where they are going. The backlog that was there is mostly being sorted out, and we have been able actually to put some drugs through for approval within an 8-week period. But you have to make sure that you don't try to cut corners. You actually have to work with the regulator right from the beginning and make sure that your files are correct. It can happen. And the more people are being positive about the system and work with the regulator, the faster the whole system will actually work. Thank you.